book of Numbers, and that might sound extremely like, whoa, Numbers, whoa, that seems like a lot. But it's such an important book, as all the books are in the Old Testament, because it speaks of the nature of God, his call to a particular people through whom he was going to be a blessing and through whom he was going to bless the whole world. And I'd like to catch you all up to speed of where we're at. So in Exodus, God calls Moses to go into Egypt, where Israel had been slaves for 400 years. And if you've ever been to church, you hear the stories about the 10 plagues, where God was commanding through Moses to let his people go, and Pharaoh just kept saying no, deny, his heart was hardened. And so God sent plagues. And the last plagues was the angel of death that passed through. And there he commanded Israel that to slay a lamb and to put the blood of the lamb on the doorpost. And wherever that lamb's blood was spread on the doorpost, the death angel passed over. And in this way, God set Israel free. And they went into the wilderness. And they traveled all the way to Sinai, where God came down on the mountain, on Mount Sinai, and he delivered his law. And of course, the people rebelled. While Moses was on the mountain, they created this golden calf because they got tired of waiting. Maybe Moses died or something. So they reverted. They hit the default button. They went back to worship idols, and they made this calf. And then Moses comes down, smashes the calf. He actually grinds it to powder and makes them drink it. I mean, that's hardcore, right? And then God restores the covenant with Israel, saying, I've made a promise. I'm going to keep it. And the people said, we are going to follow you. We're going to commit to this covenant. And so you see in Exodus and Leviticus this development of understanding how the tabernacle of the Lord was built, and the Holy of Holies, that place where God would come down and dwell. And the altar in front of the Holy of Holies, just outside of it, where they would make sacrifices, an atonement for sin. And in this way, God created an opportunity for sinful people to be in relationship through him through atonement or substitutionary sacrifice. And so after about a year, the tabernacle gets built, they figure some things out, they organize, and then they move. They start on the march towards the promised land. And they get right to the border. And we just heard a couple weeks ago in Numbers chapter 14. And what happened? There's giants in the land. There's some powerful people. We can't do this. And the spies were sent out. They came back with a report. 2 of them said, hey, this is great. Let's take it. 10 spies said, no, we can't do this. The people are too mighty. And so the people rejected. If you can summarize the story of Israel going to the promised land, and we see the book of Numbers, here's one word you can remember: rejection. The people of God rejecting the promises of God, rejecting the covenant that they had made with God out of fear, out of self-preservation. And then right after that, they decided, you know what? I don't think we like Moses and Aaron as leaders. I think they're causing some trouble. They brought us all the way out to this desert to die. We can't go into the promised land. We can't go back to Egypt. And so this man named Korah and his family and about 250 other leaders rise up and say, you know what? We're in charge now. We think we should be the leaders. And Moses falls on his face and says, God, choose between you and me. If God has chosen you and you die like everyone else dies, then the people know that God chose you, that I'm the wrong person. But if the ground opens up and swallows you, you know that I'm the person that God has chosen. Even before he said the words, the ground parted, opened up. All of Korah's family, those 250, they died. And a plague was sent, and all those 200, actually that's what I say, the 250 chiefs that were following, they died of plague in an instant. God was making a point. And this is where we pick up on the story. It's important for you to know. They're in the desert. They can't get into the promised land. Their heroes, the ones that they thought that they were going to choose for themselves to lead them through the promised land, just got swallowed up and died by plague. And here we are in Numbers chapter 16, verse 41, and that's where we're going to pick up the story because it says, on the next day. So would you turn with me in your Bibles, or if you have a Bible app, you can turn there. By the way, if you don't have a Bible, English, German, whatever other language, We have Bibles. They're gifts. You can just take one. I encourage you to have a Bible and take it home. Apps are great. I love them. But there's something about just being able to point to it in the book. Amen? So get a Bible. Read it, okay? All right. We are Numbers chapter 16, beginning in verse 41. And in honor of God's word, would you stand with me for the reading of God's word? But on the next day, all the congregation of the people of Israel grumbled against Moses and against Aaron, saying, "You have killed the people of the Lord." And when the congregation had assembled against Moses and Aaron, they turned toward the tent of meeting. And behold, the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord appeared. And Moses and Aaron came to the front of the tent of meeting. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Get away from the midst of this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment." And they fell on their faces. And Moses said to Aaron, "Take your censer and put fire on it from the altar, and lay incense on it, and carry it quickly to the congregation, and make atonement for them, for the wrath has gone out from the Lord. The plague has begun." So Aaron took it, as Moses said, and ran into the midst of the assembly. And behold, the plague had already begun among the people. And he put on the incense and made atonement for the people. And he stood between the dead and the living. And the plague was stopped. Now those who died by the plague were 14,700, besides those who died in the affair of Korah. And Aaron returned to Moses at the entrance of the tent of meeting when the plague was stopped. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the people of Israel and get from them staffs." That's a staff, one for every tribe. From all their chiefs, according to their fathers' houses, 12 staffs. Write each man's name on the staff, and write Aaron's name on the staff of Levi. For there shall be one staff for the head of each father's house. Then you shall deposit them in the tent of meeting before the testimony, where I meet with you. And the staff of the man whom I choose shall sprout. Thus I will make to cease from me the grumblings of the people of Israel, which they grumble against you. Moses spoke to the people of Israel, and all their chiefs gave him staffs, one for each chief, according to their father's house, 12 staffs. And the staff of Aaron was among their staffs, and Moses deposited the staffs before the Lord in the tent of the testimony. On the next day, Moses went into the tent of meeting, and behold, the staff of Aaron for the house of Levi had sprouted and put forth buds and produced blossoms, and it bore ripe almonds. Then Moses brought out all the staffs from before the Lord to all the people of Israel, and they looked, and each man took his staff. And the Lord said to Moses, "Put back the staff of Aaron before the testimony, to be kept as a sign for the rebels, that you may make an end of their grumblings against me, lest they die." And thus did Moses, as the Lord commanded him, so he did. And the people of Israel said to Moses, "Behold, we perish, we are undone, we are all undone. Everyone who comes near to the tabernacle of the Lord shall die. Are we all to perish?" This is the word of the Lord, brothers and sisters. You may be seated. Our gracious God in heaven, in these few moments we have left this morning, I pray that you would turn our hearts to consider what you have for us from this text, that you would give us clarity of understanding. Or what do you desire us to learn from this? I pray that you would be exalted and glorified, and that we, as a people of God here in the 21st century in Cologne, would be found faithful to do all that is in your word. And for those who are visiting today, those who are curious, those who maybe have been attending for a while and are still unsure, Lord, I pray that the clarity of the gospel would go forth, that you would give them, through the power of your Spirit, understanding, that they would be saved. Amen. Pretty crazy story, right? I mean, a lot happens in 2 days. A lot happens. It's amazing to me that in the time that they rejected God, they rejected the promised land, not only did all those, on the next day after God rejected them, all those warriors went up and got killed, because God said, "Don't go up there. I said you're not going up there." And they went up anyway, and they died. And then Korah and his men rise up, and they die. And then the whole nation rises up against Moses and Aaron, and 14,700 people die. There are great consequences to turn away and reject a promise-keeping God. Here's the thing about God. He makes promises, and those promises is a double-edged sword. On one end, And we see this throughout all of the Old Testament. And we see it all the way through in the New Testament. Whenever God makes a promise, whoever believes in me will not be ashamed. Whoever trusts in me, I will in no wise cast out. But to turn away from God, to reject him, comes with death. Remember this, the wages of sin is death. And we see this over and over in this text, even today in the book of Numbers. Well, here's the story. Let me just get to my notes here. People are upset because their guys have been killed, and they're not accepting Aaron and Moses. Because Aaron and Moses are not giving him what they want. Aaron and Moses represent God, and God is declaring what they need, and they've rejected that. They want what they want. They've turned away from God. And they accuse them. You killed them, people of God. It was your fault. I find this interesting because the entire time that they are in rebellion and rejecting God, God is saying, I'm going to destroy them. I have the right. I am holy. I have just cause to destroy these people. And every time Aaron and Moses are going on behalf of the people and pleading and asking God for mercy, those very same people that they are trying to protect through prayer and pleading for forgiveness are the same people accusing them of being at fault. Now, this is not a major point, but I think a side point are some great lessons of leadership. Number one, when a dispute comes among God's people, the first step should not be, let's solve this. Let's get together and talk about it. Let's put our heads together and find a solution. No. The first step is you go to God and you pray. You seek the Lord. And the second one is this, whether it's someone in the church or for leaders. A lot of times the people causing you the greatest amount of pain are the people in your own church. Lars said it well. We are not a room full of perfect people. We're just sick people. It's a hospital full of sick people who need a good doctor. And when that happens, we need to remember this, that godly leaders pray on behalf of the people, even when those people stand in opposition to them. Your elders pray for you. Even if you don't like some of them, they pray for you. They seek the Lord on your behalf. So we seek the Lord first in prayer. And this is what Moses and Aaron do. And Moses and Aaron are constantly interceding for these rebellious people. We see this 3 other incidences, actually. Remember I said in Exodus 32, when they decided to make a golden calf and they just stopped waiting for God and they made this golden calf. They broke their covenant with God. And what does Moses say? Lord, kill me instead. Take my life. That's not going to work this time because they don't want Moses. They've rejected Moses. And the second time, in Numbers 14, it says, Lord, if you destroy these people, what's Egypt going to think? I mean, your glory's at stake here. What are the other nations going to say that you couldn't bring your people into the promised land? But then God declares, as surely as my glory will go out through all the nation, these people will not enter my rest. God had already promised, hey, don't worry, my glory is going to go to the nations. I've declared that. We live in a country today that although it might be religious, we see a lot of church buildings. They're by and large empty. And you think most people aren't religious. They're just kind of doing their own thing. Maybe they have their own little relationship with God. Most people are just, religion's kind of out of vogue. It's out of fashion. That's not going to happen. Let me tell you something. One day, every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus is Lord. That's God's promise to himself. He will get all the glory. And so, can't be worried about God's glory anymore because God said that's going to happen. And then when the rebellion of Korah in Numbers 16 happens, he says, hey, don't kill all the people because of one man's sin. Don't destroy everyone because of Korah's stupidity. But we see here in the end of 16 and 17 that everyone in Israel is guilty. They all rebelled against God. What's left? What motivation could they possibly go to God and intercede on behalf of the people? And they have to fall on what? They have to fall on the structure of worship that God established through the high priest. The high priest is, come on guys, who's the high priest right now in the Old Testament? Aaron, there we go. Just want to make sure y'all are reading. Pop quiz. Moses' brother Aaron is the high priest. And as they're interceding before the people, Moses figures out something's going on. It doesn't say in the text what's happening. He just knows the plague has started. And he says, Aaron, you grab your censer. This is the thing they carried the fire with. You go to the altar and take fire from the altar. The altar was the place of sacrifice for atonement of the sins of the people. You take fire from that altar and you run out there and you stop. You make intercession. You atone for the sin of these people and stop this plague. I don't know if you've ever seen a really old man run, but Aaron ran. He grabbed his censer, grabbed the fire, grabbed the incense, and he ran. Now you have to understand something. The plague went out from the Lord. So the plague went out from the tent, and the people are gathered around the tabernacle outside. So everyone closest to the tent out begins to die. And Aaron has to run out of the tent of meeting, out of the tabernacle, and he has to get ahead of the plague and burn that incense and make atonement for the people. So out of the same place comes judgment and mercy, just racing out of the tent. Aaron gets ahead of the plague. He burns the incense, he makes atonement for the people, and he stops the plague. This might be the greatest event in Aaron's life. His greatest act of obedience. Because every single person in Israel deserved to die because of their rebellion against God. But because of God's plan of atonement through sacrifice, Aaron was able, as the high priest, to represent God to the people, but also represent the people to God. That's the role of the high priest, to make atonement on behalf of the people. And in his obedience and in his hurry to obey, he stops the plague. It's important here that the word wrath of God is used. That's a word that's often debated. What does that mean, wrath of God? Is God a wrathful God? Let me tell you that the center, the epicenter of God is love. He is a God of love. But he is a holy God. And because he is a holy God, he must deal justly with sin. And the wages of sin is death. As I said in the beginning, this is the Apostle Paul telling us, reminding us of this principle that is true throughout all of Scripture. God's action against sin, that's what wrath is. God's holy action against sin, and it's resulting in immediate death. That's wrath. You sin, boom, plague goes out, death. In this text, this is what the expression of wrath is. The consequences of sin and rebellion against a holy God. But here we also have atonement, the work of the high priest to assuage, to satisfy the wrath of God, to quell, to pacify the plague of death. And it's interesting, at the end of that story, this pretty crazy event, where does Aaron go? Back with Moses to the tent of meeting. He goes back. Now in chapter 17, God wants to put a final point. Now you would think, how do we know that Moses and Aaron are the chosen people or chosen leaders? Well, God did open up the ground and swallow their opponents. Well, a plague did go out from the people and only Aaron was able to stop it. You would think, that's enough, these are our people, let's go with them. But no, God wants to make a very clear point of who his appointed leaders are. He wants to vindicate his high priest, to establish one final time his sovereign will over the people. So all the chiefs, they all have a staff. That staff was a representation of their clan. He says, write the chief's name on all the staffs, and we're going to put him in the Holy of Holies. Now, why didn't just all the chiefs go in the Holy of Holies? Because they would have all died. You cannot go into the Holy of Holies if you are not called by God. But he says, you bring these staffs and you put them in there. And God's going to show you who his appointed man is. Now, on the next day, all the staffs come out, and what do we see? Aaron's dead piece of wood, his staff, not only sprouts some leaves, but it blossoms flowers and it bears fruit overnight. And they realize that God's chosen leader, God's chosen high priest, is none other than Aaron and his sons. Now finally the people get it together and they react. They respond correctly. And they respond how? In complete fear. We have rebelled against God. He has made his point very clear. We are undone. What can we do? Now they make a statement at the end. Are we all to perish? Well, God already declared they're not all going to perish. That generation of rebellious adults are going to perish, but he promised their children are going to go in. Fear is the natural response to a sinner who stands guilty before a holy God. Let me tell you, if you are not in Christ today, if you are not a follower of Jesus, not are you a member of this church, not did you grow up a certain religion, but if you have never believed in your heart that Jesus, the Son of God, who died on the cross and rose again, and you have never repented of sin and confessed Jesus as Lord, according to the Bible, you are under the wrath of God. You are his enemy because of your lack of faith, of your rebellion against him. It is a fearful thing for a sinner to stand before a holy God. You say, well, I'm not very afraid. You don't know God. You don't know his love for you. You don't know his promises, that he intends to keep all of his promises. Promises of obedience, but also promises of disobedience, because he is holy and he just can't sweep sin under the rug. He must deal with it. And this is where we are today. What is this crazy story about a plague going out and killing 14,700 people in the Bronze Age have to do with me in the 21st century in this church building right now? You see, in the New Testament, there is a great high priest. Aaron was the high priest, but there's a declaration of who the great high priest is, and that is Jesus Christ, Jesus of Nazareth. That is our great high priest. Hebrews chapter 4, verses 14 through 16. Hebrews is a great book, talks all about Jesus as the great high priest, but that's another series of sermons. But I will read this. Since then we have a great high priest who passed through the heavens, Jesus, the Son of God. Let us hold fast to our confession, for we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weakness, but who in every respect has been tempted, yet without sin. Let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace in the time of need. You see, just like Aaron, Jesus is not just a high priest, he's the great high priest that makes atonement on behalf of sinners, not just Israel, but sinners, the whole world. And as Aaron rushed from the tent of meeting to quell God's wrath, Jesus comes down from heaven to assuage the wrath of God by shedding his own blood, making atonement for sinful and rebellious world. And from the throne of God comes judgment for sinners and atonement for those who would repent and believe. This is the mighty God that we serve. What the sinner receives from the Lord depends on what they do with Jesus. Do you come as a sinner in need of forgiveness? Do you come as a sinner desperately in need of salvation? Right now, in the quietness of your own heart, you can pray and say, Lord, I believe you died and rose again. Jesus, you are my Savior. I confess that I'm a sinner. Save me. Whoever confesses with their mouth that Jesus is their Lord and believes in their heart that God raised him from the dead, they will be saved. Your great high priest has made atonement for your sin. Do you come under the blood of Jesus, or do you stand in rebellion this morning? God vindicates his servant Aaron by showing that only the atoning prayers of the high priest could save the people from death, from the wrath of God. But you see, in a greater way, God vindicates his great high priest, that he dies on the cross and 3 days later he comes back from the dead. That's God's vindication of his great high priest. And putting your faith in Jesus guarantees that you too will one day rise with him. You do now. In salvation, you are justified by faith and you are made new. And this is what we just witnessed in baptism, that their testimony of salvation and that water is a testimony, a public expression of the inward reality that they died with Christ, and through faith they are raised with him. Christ, just like Aaron ran out and intervened to stop that plague, Christ intervenes in human history to make atonement on the cross for sin, not just for Jews, but for the whole world. And he's vindicated through his resurrection. I'll just close by reading a couple verses to you in the New Testament that reflect Christ's atoning work, but also his intercession for you this morning. 1 Peter 2:24. He himself bore our sins in his body on a tree, that we might die to sin and live to righteousness. By his wounds you have been healed, for you were straying like sheep, but have now returned to the shepherd and overseer of your soul. Christ has made that atoning work for you. Do you come under the blood of Christ, the overseer, the shepherd of your soul? Are you ready to do that today? Christian, be reminded today of this great salvation, of the great shepherd of your soul, and rejoice in it. And finally, in Romans 8:34, Paul says this, who is to condemn? He says in the beginning of 8 that we are in Christ Jesus. And who is to condemn in verse 34? He says, Christ Jesus is the one who died, and more than that, the one who was raised, who is at the right hand of the Father, who indeed is interceding for us. Just like Moses, after he quelled the wrath of God through the atoning prayer, he went back to the tent. Jesus rose from the dead, and he returned to the Father, and he makes intercession for you and for me. What a mighty God we serve. This is the work of God. Yes, God's wrath goes out against sin because he is holy, and he must judge sin. And everyone, all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. But because of the atoning work of God, we can come to Jesus and find rest, forgiveness. If you simply say, Lord, I believe that you died for me. Save me. And he says, whoever comes to him, he's never going to cast out. He might be calling you this morning. Are you going to respond? Or will you continue to stand in opposition to a holy God? And I beg you, be reconciled to God this morning. Will you bow your head and pray with me? Lord, we thank you for the word of God. Such a crazy story in Numbers that can seemingly have nothing to do with us, and yet it speaks of who you are, your holiness, and your plan of redemption to draw sinners to you, to show that you must take sin seriously. Christ died that he might completely defeat sin and eradicate it and be the victor over sin and death. And those who put their trust in you, their faith in you, and come as sinners in need of forgiveness will find that rest, that shalom, as it says in the Old Testament, that peace. May that be true. We thank you for the testimonies this morning of Dave and Lars, how you saved them, Lord, by faith alone, how you rescued them from darkness, and they stand as new creations in Christ Jesus, putting all their faith in you, not coming as perfect people now or as completely having it all figured out, but they are holy because they are dressed in the righteousness of God through faith alone. And they are being sanctified, being made like Jesus through the power of the Holy Spirit, as every believer is. Lord, may that be true for everyone here today, everyone listening. To God be the glory for the great things you have done. And all God's people said, amen.